Welcome to the Hammer Drops. I am your host, Laoch. Boy, it's been a while. I know. It's been about... Well, my last episode was on the 3rd of August, and yeah, I'm pushing it. It's almost a month. I apologize. Life happens. But I want to thank you all for sticking with me and continuing to listen to the show, especially over there on Pandora. I'm blowing up over on Pandora, and I just want to thank you all for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I promise in due time here, once life starts to slow down a little bit for me, more shows per week, all of that good stuff. Okay. But now, I think today I'm going to title this episode Wake Up America, because I think this is something that people need to hear. Okay. What I'm going to say here today is not for the faint at heart. It's not for those that get all upset when, they get their feelings hurt, because I don't give a fuck about your feelings here, folks. I don't. My job and the reason why I do this show is to bring you information that you're not going to see on mainstream media, and give you an alternative way of thinking of how things are going. That's my job, and that's what I'm going to do here today. Sit back, buckle up, and let's get fucking started. All right, man. Now, I'm going to start with Maui, because I think what's going on over there is complete horse shit. Let's give those citizens who lost everything $700. $700 fucking dollars. And in the same breath, let's go ahead and give Ukraine another $6-7 billion, because, they need it so bad because they're in a war-torn country and bullshit. If you watch any of the videos that are going on from Ukraine right now, they're fucking in the streets having their little outside parties and clubs and all that shit. Yeah. That's what's going on over there. Zelensky's mom or relative or something like that buys a $5 million bungalow or whatever the fuck you want to call it. How? How? Oh, that's right. Because all of our money is going over there for whatever reason. And I can't wait for that reason to come out. Is it the biolabs that are there? What other corrupt shit is going on there? Because we already know Ukraine is corrupt as fuck. There's so much shit that happens there, it's not even funny. I can't wait for the truth to come out on that, but as an American, it should piss you off that kind of money is going to Ukraine and not to the people who are devastated by the fires in our own country. And it's not just Hawaii, folks. It's happening in Spokane, Washington. It's happening all over the United States. Louisiana. I mean, come on. And it's not funny. The weird thing about the Maui fires and a lot of these other fires is how they're starting. A lot of fires all around the world have been caught by arsonists that are starting it, but they're going to try to blame on climate. Climate change is causing all these fires, which is bullshit. There's video of people starting the fires. There's videos of these flashes of light coming out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden fires start. That, my dear friends, is called a DEW. That is a directed energy weapon. And that's what we're talking about, what happened in Maui. Because it is kind of strange that if anything was blue, it was fine, but everything else completely destroyed. I mean, it should make you sick to your stomach when people are starting to go through and going through these cars. Mom and dad are in the front seat. The kids are in the back seat. And yeah, you guessed it. Obviously, they're not with us. Now, in my eyes, that would be more of a war-torn country or state than Ukraine. You may not agree with me, and that's fine. But You can't deny the obvious. Another obvious thing that you can't deny is it's funny because all the land that burned up, corporations like BlackRock wanted to buy. People like Oprah Winfrey, Zuckerberg, Kid Rock, Jeff Bezos. They didn't want those people there. And it's funny how all their homes were spared. And it just, the history is now gone from Maui. All the while, you have people like Oprah Winfrey buying up acreages after acreages of land there. That talks about making that a satellite city. Mere weeks before the fire started. And somehow, some way, you have the way that burnt. That should say it all. But we're not going to spend too much time on that because that can be, well, that's conspiracy. Well, as we learned, it doesn't even take 6 months for conspiracy to come to life nowadays. But I'm going to continue to follow that, and I'll come back with more on that as I start to take more of a deep dive into it. So, now let's talk about the Republican debate that happened recently. Ron DeSantis looked like a fool. Christie, he's just a babbling fat fuck. And if you live in Illinois, we already have to deal with one of those in Pritzker. And then you had a certain somebody that stood out. Vivek or whatever his name is. Okay. And the reason why I'm pointing him out is because I made a post about him, not only on X, but on Facebook. He kind of reminds you of that young and up-and-coming Barack Obama when he ran. The nobody. Nobody knew him, but yet he won somehow. Same kind of concept here, folks. Now, yes, granted, Vivek, he's trying to say that he supports Donald Trump and the Trump policies and all of that. But I'm not going to get into the information. You're going to have to go to the Facebook page and you can see the information I posted up there about Vivek. But I will say this. He claims to be a Republican, but he's always voted on the side of Democrats. So don't be fooled coming into 2024. Mike Pence? Mike Pence. Maybe he should stick to trafficking kids. Yeah, I said it. So am I going to end up like the gentleman that from Indiana that brought that out too? Yeah. So all the while, Fox has, I'm going to give him credit here. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit here. More credit than probably what is actually true. I'm going to say that for the debates, they had like 20 million views. And then here comes Trump and Tucker Carlson on X in 24 hours. His interview, 122 million people. If that doesn't say anything to you, I don't know what else will. And it was also on the heels of him having to go down to Georgia and be arrested. Mind you, I've got to say his mugshot photo, it doesn't look like it looked like it was a professional picture being taken, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But it's funny, like everything they throw at Trump, I don't know how he does it. He gets more donations. He gets stronger. He gets up higher in the polls. Now, I'm going to go on the record here and say, I like Trump's policies. I do. I believe in his policies and they worked. Does that mean I like Trump the man? No. He's a sleazy SOB And you don't get where you are by not being that way. I'm sorry, you just don't. You don't get that far in business without being sleazy. I mean, let's just face facts. I mean, hell, look at Joe Biden. The corruption that's coming out from his family that's coming to light. And yet, mainstream media is all quiet on it. Wonder why. I wonder why. But, I mean, you got that. I think Joe Biden is worse than Trump. Oh, I'm just waiting for those people that don't like Trump to chime in. And I hope you do. And I hope you do. Here, let me help you out here. Go and email me at Laoch@thehammerdrops.com, or you can go visit us over there on Facebook. Leave me as many comments as you want. I already have one libtard that leaves me comments, and he thinks that he's smart. He went to college for computers. I know that much. But boy, some of the shit he says, it's just like, I'm going to say this here because I hope he's listening. I'm not going to say your name, but if you keep up what you're doing, I will call you out on my show. I will. I don't care. But what's funny is that this guy, he sounds like he's vaccinated. He really does. It's like, I don't like either one of them. I think they're both sleazy, but yet you don't say anything bad about your Lord and Savior Biden. It's only about Trump because you don't like Trump. And the best part is that I actually had people that I was friends with before, and I know I'm going off the subject here. You know, I'm big into punk and the lifestyle and all that stuff, and being against, you know, the do-it-yourself, the less government, all that stuff. I'm all for it. Okay? I really am. But those people that claim the same things, and I'm a Bernie supporter. How do you support socialism if you want less government? You fucking idiot. That's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, so you had those debates, and Ron DeSantis, you know, folks, you need to remember, just recently, somebody from Moderna was the person that threw him a campaign dinner function. A lobbyist for Moderna threw Ron DeSantis a campaign dinner to raise money for his campaign. Did you hear what I said? A lobbyist for Moderna. But DeSantis wants you to believe that he's for the people, that his state was never locked down, which we all know that he did lock down the state in the beginning. He can't claim that he didn't, but he tries to. Ron DeSantis, outside of him serving in the military, and I'll give him credit there, and thank you for your service, Mr. DeSantis. Outside of that, the guy's more of a sleazeball than he's about right up there with fucking Barack and Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell. He's just a fucking rhino. That's all he is. And they got to get him in. And that's why American people are waking up. And that's why Trump has such a commanding lead in the polls right now for any Republican. And that's why the liberals and the Democrats are trying to throw everything they can and the kitchen sink to stop him. And it's not working. Now they're going to try with the court dates to coincide them with big event dates for the election. They're doing everything they can to prevent Donald Trump from winning. And as an American, or just anything, you need to sit there and ask yourself, why are they putting this much effort into canceling one person? Why do they fear him so much that they don't want him to run again? But yet they'll overlook a guy like Mitch McConnell, who freezes up, can't even do speeches anymore. A guy like Joe Biden, who can't even lift a 6-ounce fucking chair while being on the beach in Maryland. I mean, this is what you want to run our country? But, you know, what am I going to do? What are we going to do, folks? So stay tuned for more, because we're going to get into more about the elections as it's coming. But now we're going to talk, and I'm going to get real with you. We're going to talk about COVID. Because for all of those that voted for Joe Biden and fell for his mandates and was forced to get the vaccine, I hope you're listening. I really do. Because you all fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Not only that, but you believed that by getting the COVID vaccine, that would prevent you from getting COVID or not getting COVID as bad. You're all gung-ho about that, but you weren't gung-ho about the side effects from it. Autoimmune diseases, cancer, heart attacks, blood clots, all of it. Strokes. Oh, did I forget to tell you that, making people so they can't have kids, impotent, sterile. Yeah. Did you ever once think about asking, when you went to go get the COVID vaccine, to see the pamphlet inside of there so you can see the list of ingredients and all that stuff and what's actually in there? And when they gave it to you, it was nothing written on it. But any other drug has it. Yeah. That should have been a red flag for you. But it wasn't, because people still got it. But now here we are. By mid-September, they will be ushering in mandates. They will be ushering in mandates for masks, pushing the new COVID vaccine for this new variant that they've been working on. They've been working on this new variant, which you should be asking yourself this. How do they know about this new variant? And how do they know that that was the one they should be working on for a vaccine? Did they come along further with the mRNA to make it more lethal? Because remember the guidestones where it says, we need to get the world population down to 500 million people. So they essentially need to kill 7.5 billion people to make that happen. I mean, some of your elites like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, all of them have said this. What better way to do it than having somebody stick you in the arm with the flu shot or the COVID shot? Or have you noticed that they've been pushing tetanus a lot lately? I don't know about you, but for me, I will never get another shot from a fucking doctor or hospital again. Never. Fuck that. I'll take my risks, my chances. I'd rather die on my own terms. That's just me, my personal opinion. But I think what happens next is if people don't wake the fuck up and if people comply this time around, we're going to lose more rights. Your CBDC will be ushered in. It's there now. It's just waiting, which is the FedNow system, the cashless society. Your social credit score, they're already working on that. It's actually here. It's kind of, look at China and how they do their thing. I've talked about this numerous times on this show. But with the social credit score, that's going to be ushered in. Your 15-minute cities will be ushered in. Your satellite cities are coming. You see what's going on here? They want to take away, hold on. And I quote, Klaus Schwab, "You will own nothing and be happy." Klaus Schwab. The WEF. And the WHO also wants to take over where if there's any pandemics, they want to take over the sovereignty of every nation, the WEF and the WHO. So whenever there's a pandemic, climate change, or COVID, they put forth the restrictions and tell you that you have to be locked down and that you have to do this. That's what's coming. The BRICS nations just had their meeting in South Africa over the last week. They've announced that their world currency that they're coming out with is backed by gold. How much longer do you think it's going to be until the petrodollar, or the US dollar, is worth nothing? It's coming. It is. The dollar is collapsing. It's collapsing at a very high rate. But if you ask a liberal, or if you ask Biden, you notice how they don't talk about inflation anymore. But yet the Fed still raises the rate. They're not talking about the inflation anymore because it's an election cycle. You can't make Joe Biden look any worse. But yet you're going to still pay more at the grocery store. You're going to still pay more at the gas pump. You're going to still pay more for everything that you want. Because that's what they want. They want you to own nothing and be happy. They want you to have to rely on government. I know for me, I don't want to rely on government. Do you? Do you want to sit in lines to get one more piece of bread, sir? Do you want that? Because if you're somebody like me who actually speaks out and has a mind of their own, well, it's not going to bode well for you. Because in the social credit score, you're going to be a bad person. And anybody caught associating with you, whether it be family, friends, dogs, cats, whatever, will all be gone. So, bottom line, I'm going to say this loud and clear for the people in the back. Do not comply this time around. No matter what, do not comply. Your rights, your freedoms are at stake more now than ever. They don't want an election in 2024. They want more mail-in voting. They want, if there's going to be an election, that's what they want, is to mail in votes so they can cheat. We have to learn by what has happened in the past and make sure that the past does not happen again. That's why we don't comply. Grow a set of balls and don't comply. Don't put on that mask. Because there's going to be people like me behind you. Seeing you with a mask on, you might get smacked. You might get poked. You might get pointed at, laughed at, ridiculed. Because you're falling for it all over again. The scare tactics. If you don't see what the hell's going on and you're not awake yet, go out to pasture. You're done. Seriously, you're done. Because everything that's been happening, if you haven't seen it, COVID started coming to an end because people got sick of it. Then started the indictments that people weren't falling for that. So we have some LGBTQ and some trans rights going, and now people are fucking sick of that crap too. And more indictments, fires, all of this stuff. And now here we are, full circle with COVID again. And on the back burner, mind you, Project Bluebeam is right there in there waiting to come out. And if you don't know what that is, look it up, because you'll have drones inside of a hologram that looks like a spaceship that's going around shooting. It's to make you think that we're under an alien attack. I know. That's a conspiracy theory. Is it? Look up Project Bluebeam, folks. Do your homework, do your research, educate yourself. That's what I try telling you guys this all the time. Don't believe me. Do your own research. I'm giving you the tools, what to look up. So, until the next time, folks, Y'all be good to one another. Be a fucking patriot. Hold your ground and do not, by any means, do not fucking comply.